before Mr. Rogers founded Orthotic and Prosthetic Associates in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It is the largest provider of O&P services in the tri-state area with 8 offices and multiple clinical specialties. The American Academy of Orthotists and Prosthetists was founded in November of 1970 to further the scientific and educational attainment of professional practitioners in the disciplines of orthotics and prosthetics. Welcome, Mr. Rogers.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman Braley, Ranking Member Davis. I would like to thank the members of the subcommittee for allowing us to testify today. The American Academy of Orthotists and Prosthetists, the Academy, is the national membership organization that represents the interest of the orthotic and prosthetic professionals. It is a privilege to be part of a profession whose work helps people who need orthotic and prosthetic services resume full and productive lives and to be able to continue to support themselves and their families. We have a proud history in our profession of working to serve veterans and working with the VA. We do this both through contracts between small businesses and the VA and also by having many of our members actually work within the VA system. Over 60% of our membership actually own a small business or work for one. They work in all sorts of settings, including large cities, suburban communities, and the most rural areas of our nation. The services we provide for veterans and the Veterans Administration is some of the most important work that we do as professionals and as Americans. One way to thank veterans for their service is to ensure that the VA and the many small businesses who are contracted by the VA provide the needed orthotic and prosthetic services and that they will be available to meet the needs of the veterans for the rest of their lives. We need to remember that the VA not only serves a veteran who returns from war with a service-related injury, but they will also serve the needs of patients in the future through the normal aging process and the possibility of acquiring a disability or an injury later on as they develop. With modern technology, we can return a veteran who has an amputation or another severe orthopedic injury to full functionality and give them the ability to continue to support themselves and their families and to participate as fully in society as they wish to. But why is the involvement of small business so crucial to the success of our rehabilitation efforts with veterans? To answer this question, you have to understand the history of our profession. Before the First World War, prosthetic and orthotic businesses were not allied health professionals. They were by and large craftsmen from a variety of different professions who were introduced to the disabled community through personal contact and circumstance. After the conclusion of World War II, the large influx of amputees and young men without careers created an enormous need for these services and an opportunity to advance the technology. With funding from the federal government and specifically the VA, prosthetic and orthotic education and training programs were begun at a number of select universities. Many of those trained were veterans themselves. The majority of the current 3,500 O&P facilities in the United States remain small businesses, and many are even family-owned. It is not unusual at the Academy's annual meeting and scientific symposium to see more than one generation take continuing education courses together. An example of this cooperation between the VA and small prosthetic businesses is a veteran I'll call Jack. He's a young man from rural America where family, farming, hunting, and fishing define one's existence. He lost his dominant right arm in an RPG attack while serving as a gunner on a Bradley in Iraq. He was stabilized in country and arrived at Walter Reed within days of his injury. While at Walter Reed, Jack was there for 3 months alone without his wife and his 3 young children. When I met Jack after his transition from the DOD to the VA system, he had already received 4 prostheses, 3 at Walter Reed, 1 through the VA contracted provider setup. None of these prostheses was suitable for the activities he would resume back home. He was frustrated, he was angry, and he was referred to me as a problem case. He recognized that the care and service he received was quick and of the highest technological value, but that wasn't what he wanted nor what he needed. He needed a prosthetist that would allow him to work as a conservation officer in a variety of weather conditions and make a prosthesis after listening to his needs that would suit those needs. He needed a prosthesis that would allow him to shoot a bow, hold and fire a shotgun or a rifle, enable him to fish with his children, and take a creel study in a local lake. What he received was the very best technology we have available in myoelectric and cosmetic prostheses, What he lacked was a local prosthetist who understood his day-to-day existence and appreciated what was important to him and how that translated into a specific design. After I made the rugged, weatherproof prosthesis that he required, he's invited me back several times to Kansas to hunt and fish and spend time with his family. And it remains one of the most rewarding experiences I have, and it's an example that highlights the relationship of the VA and small businesses and the necessity for that. We need to continue this contracting process and the intimate relationships that it fosters. We, the Academy, and our professionals appreciate the good working relationship we have with the VA and Fred Downs and his staff, and it's our goal to continue to work to develop a closer relationship in the area of research, and particularly to look at best practices in the O&P field. I'd like to again thank the committee for holding this hearing and allowing me to speak.